mana i ngā reo, i ngā kārangaranga maha o te motu, tēnā koutou katoa. Kia ora, George Ngātai here from the Whānau Ora Community Clinic. It's great to actually be given this opportunity to present to ACC with regards to a Kaupapa Māori Navigational Service. Now, this is just a short video in terms of who's involved in our application to ACC, and on behalf, of course, the Whānau Ora Community Clinic, Safer Aotearoa Family Violence Prevention Network, Transitioning Out Aotearoa, Aki Innovation, Rangaranga, Manaaki Tangata Consultants, Mana Aotea, Whatever It Takes Home-Based Rehabilitation, Get Me Started, Te Ahi Ka Indigenous Solutions. We'd like to actually thank you for this opportunity that we're about to present you this morning. The first question we've actually got to describe is our experience in delivering a Kaupapa Māori service. Now, for over a decade, of course, Whānau Ora Community Clinic, in association with many of the other organisations, including Transitioning Out Aotearoa Family Violence, or Safer Aotearoa Family Violence Prevention Network, and the other recent associations with the organisations, have been delivering many Kaupapa Māori services. This has actually included for our organisation, for example, the delivery of the Te Pai Oranga program, which is Kaupapa Māori. It's actually by the iwi for the iwi, by whānau for whānau, and by hapu for hapu, which is a program that allows a community of panel members, mainly associated with marae and of course Māori organisations, to sit around a table to discuss challenges when it comes to offending between of course whānau and victims. So the Kaupapa Māori service that's been delivered under Te Pai Oranga allows Māori participation and Māori kaumātua queer as well as other Māori participants to be able to be given an opportunity to present themselves as to what the offending was and how the community, through its marae, through its hapu, through its iwi, can actually make a recommendation to the police as to a plan that they put in place to right the wrong, to actually fix the offending that's actually gone wrong. One of the benefits of this program that we've actually had, and you'll see in our application, is that we get to wrap around support services to address the offending, and really the fence is actually the end of a kaupapa. What we've actually done is identify where the, I suppose, the challenges that this individual whānau member has actually had, why they've actually offended, and of course ensure that we put enough support around them and reverse or refer them on to other providers to be able to receive the appropriate support for them over a 6-week period. Now this here, whilst it's actually a very short-term relationship, will actually enable that the whānau members themselves hopefully won't come back and re-offend, and they'll have the appropriate services in place by Māori providers to be able to actually support that individual and their whānau and the victim to be able to actually get the supports that are required. So that's just one of the many services that we've actually been providing. We've got another provider here that actually provides miri rongoa, and again that there comes down to the individual choice of whānau that wants to actually receive alternative medicines, alternative support, karakia, and this may not normally be used as a form of fixing and treating issues or challenges, but for individual Māori, this may be an opportunity for us to engage them in a service that they would not normally actually engage themselves in. So we believe that we've got the right supports, the right kaupapa, and the right people to be able to, 1, engage, 2, actually deliver, and 3, be able to actually get some good outcomes with regards to whānau that are associated in our organisation. It's really hard to actually explain this in a 10-15 minute video, but you need to actually read more in our application to be able to find out. Again, it doesn't give us a true picture of what we can actually do to provide for you and the assessors today. The next question we've got to present to you today is describe the principles we use that align to why 2575 health review. I suppose our organisations actually operate from a Kaupapa Māori worldview, and we actually give full recognition of course, to Te Tiriti o Waitangi. That's not only from a governance point of view, because most of the organisations here have well over 50% and close to 80 to 90% of its governance Māori. The management team is all Māori, and of course the staff are predominantly Māori. So we ensure that we have the right staff, the right managers, the right governance to be able to perform a kaupapa Māori service to whānau that we actually work with. That though doesn't mean that we only deliver to Māori. We can actually deliver to Pacific as well as other ethnic groups, but in terms of our connectivity with our whānau, we ensure that the people that work, the people that govern, the people that manage our organisations look, feel and see our people as a whole, rather than actually seeing them as a client or a number. So we've got the infrastructure to be able to actually deliver these services appropriately, culturally safe, and of course having the right supports in place to be able to be seen and supporting our whānau along the way. Our organisations work close together. Recently with our Waikato engagement around the development of a kaupapa Māori program or service with ACC, we have extended our relationships to other providers within the Waikato region. Whilst this is actually growing for us as a collective, we see that some of the providers within this collective can also deliver outside of the Waikato area. We want to start in Waikato and we want to actually extend across Tāmaki Makaurau or Auckland Metro, up to Taitokero, of course over to the Bay of Plenty, down to Wellington, or Pōneke, and across of course to Te Waipounamu. So we've got enough of our infrastructure to be able to provide that, and of course be seen to supporting and aligning with Y2575. You need to actually read more in our application to find out what else we actually do, and hopefully this gives you an opportunity for us to be able to do that. Our next question that we've got to answer, which hopefully I am able to do that, is describing our working relationships that we actually have with local communities and the current state of those relationships. Now, with all of the providers that are involved predominantly in Waikato and across Auckland, we have got strong relationships with many providers, many local marae, hapu and iwi. And whilst it's actually been identified within our application as to who they are, speaking with us as a collective, you'll actually get to see and hear how strong these relationships are. Speaking on behalf of the Whānau Ora Community Clinic, because we're a national provider as well as Safer Aotearoa Family Violence Prevention Network and Transitioning Out Aotearoa, our relationships extend further than just Waikato and Tāmaki Makaurau. In fact, we have offices that stretch from as far north in the Taitokero as Kaiō and as far south in Te Waipounamu as Ōtautahi Christchurch. So we do have relationships, MOUs and partnerships with various whānau hapu and iwi groups across the rohe, and you can actually see within our application who those people are. They've got the details, the contact details and email addresses to be able to actually contact them and talk to them about what our relationship and also our operation of services looks like from a kaupapa Māori point of view. We believe that in most of our areas we have a very strong relationship. In some of our areas we have a medium relationship, and we can always actually look at building stronger and more key relationships with various iwi and marae along the way. So hopefully you can actually see from our application who our key connectors are, from the Whangaroa Health Services Trust to Te Runanga o Whangaroa up in Taitokero, all the way down to Ngā Mātā Waka and of course Ngā Hauwhā National Marae down in Christchurch. Across the breadth of Aotearoa, we certainly have built up through all of our connections that strong relationship too. And of course the last question that we've got here is how would we build our capacity or build your capacity to actually help ACC clients or kiritaki and their whānau navigate ACC, and what supports would you expect from ACC? I suppose our organisations have certainly had considerable expertise in developing and delivering new services from a kaupapa Māori point of view. In the development of an ACC independent navigation service, we would probably use the infrastructure in place and enhance the current ACC navigational service that you have in place at the moment. It's not new to us, and the many providers that are actually involved in this will actually be able to support the engagement. That's probably the key thing, is one, engaging with Māori and other clients to talk about and navigate them through the services that ACC have. One of the things we've actually found with regards to Māori clients in particular is that many of us are whakamā to actually engage in with a government agency. We're whakamā to actually ask what we're entitled to, and therefore we tend to actually receive services, whether it's large or small, and not actually ask for anything different or anything more, or what other supports can actually whānau look at receiving. So we've got the appropriate staff to be able to do that. They are more seen as navigators for this service, and of course we've got many whānau order navigators that currently work within this field at the moment, and these are the experiences that we can actually add value to navigating whānau through the ACC range of services, whether it's actually, of course, serious harm, trauma, or other services that ACC actually deliver. It's about us as organisations getting a better understanding of what services are available, and then to actually utilise that information to inform our whānau, our hapu and our iwi about what they're going to be entitled to. When that actually is discussed with whānau, it's providing them with, I suppose, a roadmap that allows them to be able to walk confidently along the pathway of wellness, which we want to actually encourage a lot of our whānau to do. So read more about what we can actually do and provide and add value to ACC within our application, and I hope that this information that you would either read and hear through this presentation would benefit Kiritaki within ACC to be able to actually engage quicker and obviously get better sooner along their pathway of recovery. And whether it's going to be, you know, a 1 day, 1 week, 1 year or 10-year experience, we want to ensure that the information we provide as navigators to whānau is going to actually be beneficial for their speedy recovery in whatever accident or incident they have got to deal with when working with ACC. Nō reira e aku rangatira, ko mutu hoki ngā mihi, ngā kōrero e pāna ki tēnei o ngā kaupapa. He kaupapa hou tēnei ki te kōrero atu ki a koutou mai tēnei ipurangi. Engari, ahakoa te taumahatanga o tēnei o ngā kōrero, kei te mihi atu nei ki a koutou. Mā koutou hoki te mana ki a whakaū ki tēnei o ngā kaupapa, ki a hoatu tētahi o ngā mahi ki ngā Kiritaki, ki ngā rōpū Māori, putanoa i Waikato, putanoa hoki i Aotearoa. Ko George Ngātai tēnei o te rōpū o whānau o the Community Clinic, me e rātu o ngā rōpū e tautoko ana i tēnei. Huri noa, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. E te hunga whakapono iti, me haere Māori runga te moana nui e tā. E te hunga whakapono iti, me haere Māori runga te moana nui e tā. Ka whaki te moana nui e tā, ka whaki te moana roa e tā, ka manu tonu e tā, e tā. E waka te ai tauri, e tā, e waka
moana nui e tā